Was David Schwimmer in search of artistic self-realization, or was he just a snob? How his first job as a waiter inspired a famous storyline in Friends? What did he learn from his heartbreaking divorce? And most importantly, where does Schwimmer stand on the immortal Friends conflict? Were Ross and Rachel on a break, or not? Hi, I'm Dylan. Let's go! Waiting tables for a living. Despite the fact that Friends ended 16 years ago, David Schwimmer still receives a lot of money from the show. Yes, according to Entertainment Tonight, his yearly syndication revenue is $20 million. Can you believe that? But as for many celebs in Hollywood, things weren't easy for Schwimmer in the beginning of his career. Yep, he waited tables for 7 years. It was all about survival for the young actor. Schwimmer served people food during his working time and went auditioning in his free time. Classic. Now Schwimmer loves to remember how he saw himself on TV for the first time. I was waiting tables that night. My first episode aired and the guy at the bar was like, "Schwimmer, you're on TV." That was a comedy drama series called The Wonder Years, where the actor appeared in 4 episodes. Schwimmer's reaction was hilarious. "Oh my god, cool," he said. And a second later, he turned to a customer at the bar saying, "Would you like blue cheese or ranch?" Though the most unexpected story from David Schwimmer's career as a waiter was found out just recently in 2020. The insane Mark Ruffalo connection. Okay, prepare to be shocked. While David Schwimmer and Mark Ruffalo were on the Graham Norton show sharing their early job experiences, they realized that they both worked as waiters in the same restaurant. Yes, it was a 50s diner called Ed Debevic's Restaurant, though there were a few differences. Like, for example, Schwimmer worked in the one based in Chicago, while Ruffalo was in the LA restaurant. And, unlike Ruffalo, Schwimmer had to wait tables on roller skates. Both actors also had to serve food while playing fictional characters. As Schwimmer remembered on the Graham Norton show, he played Romeo the Romancer, who was kind of based a little on John Travolta in Grease. And there's more! This whole situation of David Schwimmer working as a waiter on roller skates in a 50s diner wearing a pompadour inspired that funny storyline with Monica working in a similar restaurant in Friends. Rewatching those episodes won't ever be the same for you now. Envy and jealousy as a motivator. The key to understanding why David Schwimmer disappeared from Hollywood after Friends probably lies in his childhood. He was born in New York City, though his family moved to LA soon after. And according to Schwimmer's interview with The Guardian, he was always an outsider there, even at school. Believe it or not, but the actor who portrayed a nerdy paleontologist was a bully in his younger days. Yes, he had problems in various schools, even in the super glamorous Beverly Hills High School. When I was there, I always felt, this is not me. I'm surrounded by people with a different value system, David confessed to The Guardian, and I just wanted to get out of California. So that's what he did. Schwimmer moved to Chicago to study drama. As he realized years later, one of his big motivators was envy. Envy and jealousy. Growing up in junior high school and high school, I never felt like I was in the cool crowd. I always felt quite envious, and that's a great motivator. Maybe that's why Schwimmer almost turned down his life-changing role of Ross Gellar? Wait, you didn't know that? It may sound crazy now, but that's what happened in the first place. That sitcom felt like a prison sentence. Yeah, David Schwimmer had a very toxic experience working on a sitcom before Friends. In his talk with Jimmy Fallon, he complained about being a part of Fox's show Monty, calling it a miserable experience. This was horrible. It felt like a prison sentence, Schwimmer said. Whoa, but why? What happened? According to the actor, working on Monty was one of those things where no collaborative spirit was present on set. At all. Schwimmer's job there was nothing more than shut up and say the line. And he always hated that kind of attitude. Luckily for him, the show was canceled after 12 episodes. And a bit later, his agent called him and proposed a role in another sitcom. Not the best timing. "No way I'm doing it," replied the sick of sitcoms actor. Schwimmer moved to Chicago to his theater company. Yes, he created one some time ago, and that's when he got another call. This time from the legendary director and producer Jim Burrows, who insisted Schwimmer come and meet everyone. So he did. And when he heard that the writers of Friends wrote Ross's role with him in mind, he simply couldn't turn it down. "That's the biggest compliment ever," explained Schwimmer about his decision. Though it may sound mind-blowing, soon after the show became insanely popular, Schwimmer faced the biggest struggle of his life. The controversial struggle with fame. It struck him suddenly. And not only him, of course, but the entire cast. Nobody expected Friends would become that huge that fast. Being faithful to what he believed in, Schwimmer needed some time to realize how to handle his fame. But what was the big deal, you may ask? Isn't it cool to wake up and find out you're famous? Well, not if you're David Schwimmer. He always took his acting profession very seriously. As an actor, the way I was trained, my job was to observe life and to observe other people, David said on the Awards Chatter podcast. The effect of celebrity was the absolute opposite. In the middle of the 90s, David Schwimmer had to figure out how to be an actor in this new situation he found himself in. How not to mess up his relationships with people. Nobody knows for sure why Schwimmer disappeared from Hollywood soon after Friends ended, but there's a theory that he was basically hiding from his popularity and searching for new artistic self-realization. Yes, David Schwimmer took to small stage performances in London and New York City. He also tried himself as a director. He said that he couldn't stand Hollywood. It was too noisy, too busy, too many cool people trying to be really cool. But what if that was just him being snobby? Because Schwimmer didn't disappear completely. He appeared on screens from time to time, right? Maybe that was Ross speaking out of him in some way? Admit it, it's pretty easy to be an artist when you have $20 million syndication revenue a year. That's why there's another theory why David Schwimmer didn't appear very often after Friends. There were several projects where you could see David, or hear him. Yes, he voiced a hypochondriac giraffe in the Madagascar franchise, but many critics and his fans only saw Ross in all of his later performances. Even Schwimmer himself perfectly understood that. I'm sure there will be people saying it's just Ross up there, he told The Independent, and I'll take that really hard actually. As sad as it is, that's pretty much what happened with his acting career in Hollywood. The only true exception was the unfairly underrated drama Dwayne Hopwood. Most probably you've never even heard of it. But yes, it's a movie where Schwimmer plays a father struggling with alcohol, divorce, and the custody of his 2 daughters. If you want to see a completely different David Schwimmer, then just go ahead and watch it. I'm really proud of that film. It was like a real role in a real story, Schwimmer told The Independent. David also faced tons of criticism regarding his directing attempts. His dark comedy staging of Fault Lines was met with lots of indignation. AM New York's critic wrote, "We can't really tell whether Schwimmer has much talent as a director. For now, it seems like David Schwimmer isn't afraid to pursue comedy once again. His new TV series, Intelligence, aired recently, and David was brave enough to try the genre he hadn't succeeded in since the legendary Friends One More Time." Did you guys already watch Intelligence? The heartbreaking divorce. Just as Schwimmer hid from his popularity, he did his best to keep his private life a secret. But we still know something about it. Yes, David was married to the British artist Zoe Buckman 3 years after they met on the movie that David was directing. The wedding was in 2010, and just a year later, the beautiful couple had a daughter, Cleo. Everything seemed so right and lovely in their family photos. Schwimmer said that for him, having a daughter was the most life-changing experience ever. 100% it is, and in every way the most joyous and fulfilling and meaningful thing. Period. Hands down, he told The Guardian. But something went wrong. And in 2017, David and Zoe unfortunately got divorced. Schwimmer felt completely broken. Anyone would say the same thing, but of course it's heartbreaking. I certainly didn't get married with the idea that it wouldn't last. The actor and director asked all his fans and the press for support and respect for his family's privacy. No doubt, we all have respect for you, David. Schwimmer stated that his daughter's happiness still remains their biggest priority ever. He said that he and Zoe realized clearly, no matter what has happened, they need to stay collaborative about Cleo. We wish you all the best in the future, mate, and we'd really love to end our video on a friendly and positive tone. So, it's time to talk about the most important issue ever. What does David Schwimmer think regarding the next question? Were Ross and Rachel on a break? Or not? Admit it, this has initiated tons of conflict in the audience. Even now, 16 years later. Seriously, can you name any other TV series that was able to create a bigger controversy than Ross and Rachel did? In his recent talk with Jimmy Fallon, David Schwimmer said the second line he hears most from his fans is, "You were on a break." Wait, what? What's the first one then? Try to guess.
Hey, good looking. No, it's...
Seriously though, the line he hears fans yelling to him most often is, "Pivot!" Because it was indeed super funny. Anyways, Jimmy Fallon didn't hesitate to try to finally clear things up. What side does Schwimmer pick in the immortal Ross and Rachel conflict? Any ideas what the answer was? Just listen to it. It's hilarious!
Break, or were they not on a break?
Yeah, it's not even a question. They were on a break.
We on the Awesome channel simply love that stare David Schwimmer delivered. Thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe to our channel. And just as always, stay awesome.